Oi, gente! Are you ready to vibe? Let's go! So, Vibe is a podcast that we're gonna show you the behind the scenes of the biggest event of the planet from a female perspective. So, if you like this kind of content and are you curious about it, let's vibe with us. Oi, gente! Let's vibe today. So here today we are receiving Angel, a friend of mine that we worked together in Qatar during the World Cup in Qatar. In Qatar World Cup. So for today, I want her to present herself because she has an amazing career. But before it, who are you? Tell me from that perspective before we enter in this field about your career and all these amazing things that you delivered around the world from your professional perspective.
Thank you very much, Brenda. It's a pleasure to be here. So before we talk about my professional life, who is Angélica, I would say I'm fascinated for the process of a communication. The way that we can organize our thoughts, the way that we can make people understand what we want and go through this is something that I really like. And sharing some feedbacks I have received in my life. They say I'm a good listener.
Okay.
So, and maybe the reason is because I'm really interested to people's stories, the way they see the world, the way they have different lens or experience backgrounds, all of this. So I'm usually very good listener, let's say. Yeah, pretty much that. I love sports, not just managing sports, and of course, organized. I don't know if I'm organized because my work, project management,
or
the opposite. I just work with this because a personal thing. So I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, sounds great. So how that helped and how that worked from your career perspective, this organization about it and these cultural things, about communication, how you connected this with your career now in every place that you work in, because I know that you in your career you're different from other people who only go from one specific side of field. You have multiple experience, so tell us a little bit about it.
Sure thing. So I started for Olympic. Oops. I started. We cannot tell the names.
We can,
So,
yeah.
Can we?
It depends on you, and if you have like any.
I don't
NJ.
remember.
We all have NJ.
Yes.
We all have NJ.
It's better now.
In these games in Brazil and Rio,
Yeah. 2016 in Rio.
12 years ago. Yeah, so there I was in the part of the main operations. So in these huge events, we have more than 40, 50 functional areas. So that means that we need someone or area to make the whole connections. And that was how I started with major sport events. And then I also did look and signage. Pretty much look and signage what you see when you arrive in the venue or in the city that you just arrived, and then you feel you are in the game, in the match. You're not just in a stadium. And marketing as well. And I think if I want to put everything in the same spot, let's say, what I would say that helps is, of course, organization in everyone. You just manage what you are able to see. Even though you're going to cook a rice, if you're not there, having a check if it's still water or not,
it's gonna work.
It's not gonna work. So you gotta be on top of everything you have, and then you can manage and anticipate all the risk. So then it's a success. But let's say it's not easy like we say. So it's a huge thing and so many subtitles. But yeah, I believe that's the thing. And of course, communication is with this, because if you're not able to communicate, how come you're gonna arrive in the target?
And especially, and I guess taking this from that perspective, what about the language? Because we are traveling all around the world, so it's different cultures, people from different cultures talking and different language. So how it is to speak more than one language? and because some people just speak with English and that's okay. But do you feel that it's a difference when you just have more?
Absolutely. I have worked also in remote spaces. So, for example, I had 30 people in my team that I have never met then. Never.
Okay.
Then I've changed jobs, but I have never met them in
Okay.
person. So it's another challenge. But when we put people that is international, in my point of view, when you speak different languages, is also one, you are able to communicate.
Yeah.
And two, in my point of view, makes you more flexible. Because what is the language? Well, what's the culture? The culture is made by how you can communicate. So it's very specific.
Uh-huh.
Some words that sometimes we say in English that we don't say in Portuguese. For
Yes.
example, feedback. We don't say in Portuguese, I'm gonna return you. We say feedback because that makes sense in this language. So I believe when we speak a different language, even though let's say A2, B1, but we communicate, we are
Yes,
able to
it's better than nothing.
switch and be flexible to different behaviors. So yeah, definitely for our field, I would say try to speak at least 2, 3, if you can 4. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And how that language has helped you in this market, to just get different new holes or because you, again, you work in different sections in this event. So the language helped you in some of them or more than one language, more than Portuguese and English, do you feel that?
Yeah.
I don't know. You did Paris, right? How it is? You
I
just did Paris.
I
Do you
did
speak
Paris,
Arabic
yeah.
as well, or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
French, or how
Yeah.
it is?
So big events in South America, majority Portuguese, but also Spanish.
Yeah.
I cannot say the name, but American 19, because now, Spanish, and then Qatar Arabic, but also a lot of Spanish. In Paris, was a lot of French, and you're kind of invited to speak the language, let's say,
Okay.
but majority is English.
It's English, right?
But my perception is not just about literally speak, but about have this mood of flexibility that I think
Yes.
that not just, but majority people that speak multiple languages, they are able to think in a different way.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, of course, it's gonna open the door if you can speak the local language, but just your way of thinking and this flexibility, I think that's helps a lot.
Yes. That's interesting because I guess when we speak a different language, you're trying to understand them above the things that the subject. You try and you can understand the culture and go inside, and then from the other part, when you're doing this, they feel different. They treat you in a different way, because you're trying to communicate with them with their own language, even if you don't speak that as well. At least you're trying to. And that makes the whole difference between flexibility and how they're going to deliver you and how they feel that you are respecting them in that, right?
And also when you put yourself in this space that is not that comfortable.
Yeah.
Because I'm speaking someone's language. So I'm not gonna be fluent, but I'm gonna do my best. But just people who are very, let's say, well, not a lot of people that can put themselves in this place that is not that comfortable.
Yeah.
So and still make through.
Yes,
right?
delivered and
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
happen. That's nice. So, which one of those holes did you have that was more challenging and that you like it most to do it and to make it happen?
Wow.
And why? What happened that was that challenge that I don't know, create you something that you love now, that it's great, that it's amazing, and oh my God, I would love to do it to the rest of my life because it was an amazing thing to do.
I think the first love is always the first love.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So the games in Brazil, Rio, 12 years ago, had my heart so hard. So it was beautiful. And I was, as I said, in the main operation. So I was not very executing things while we were managing all the policy and procedures, how the functional areas were well connected. We were managing during the operations, the risk problems. We had more than 2,500 issues to be solved, and it was solved. So it's like I was not really executing because they were, but we were there managing. So it's like this big picture of the whole process, and it was the first love, of course. My first experience, so it was beautiful. But I would say that there are the major events as the one in Qatar or Paris. Well, I had another one, and that's big, but these two, I think they had a different challenge, let's say. While one, we were wealthy, let's say, in terms of event. The event was pretty wealthy.
Yeah. We miss
but
it,
we
right?
were, yeah.
Everybody working in Qatar miss
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
Definitely.
Good moments.
Yes, it was lovely. It was amazing.
But we also were
amazing. Remember that? Sorry.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. And but also we were very flexible to change plans. So what that means that, okay, you gotta have a structure to do whatever you want, but I need to do tomorrow or maybe change the plan. So you gotta be very active, let's say.
Okay.
While, for example, in Paris, we had more limits, let's say, in terms of budget. And the interesting thing about that is, even though with this limit, we are talking about the biggest event in the world.
Yeah.
So the requirement will be here, COC. So what we do if you don't have a lot of budget, let's say,
resources,
creative, so different challenge. So you had more time, and things were not changing with that flexibility, but we needed to be way more creative, maybe make more connections with the other areas, and try to do our best. And we did. It was a pretty successful event.
Yes, they are impressive, right? All the time. I don't think people knows about how many people work on that and how many areas we have in this management of this project, right? It's massive. And so from your perspective, the events that you delivered, what was numbers, that impressive for all your holds in these events that you remember? But of course, we did a lot.
Yeah, I did my homework.
Yeah, great.
So when I said that my first love was the love, is because of this big picture. So we are talking about around 40 to 50 functional areas, and all the time when we mentioned games, we say, well, I'm a traditional company. You're gonna have administration, HR, finance, and then that's it, like let's say 10, 11, 15, 12. But when we talk about games, that is few of the functional areas that who doesn't deal with this have no idea. For example, look and signage, right? So this is one number that is very impressive for me, 50. A lot. Another number, I remember this game in Rio, we were 64 internationals. So can you imagine? You go for a meeting that probably you are 7, but in the whole committee, 64 different nationalities. So that's why when I say about you be multi-language,
cultural language,
that happens not just because talk, but you do a step back and understand that's way more culture than yours. Different ways to talk. We have like a few funny facts. People say once in a meeting, I cannot say who because I don't know who's gonna watch this video. But one person look at the other one and was like, and then the second person was like, what? Because happening? In Brazil this is like kill.
But he was Italian.
She wanted the other person just to stop talking. For us, stop talking like But she was like, and then what that means? This is cute.
I will kill you. What the kind of things you're talking about?
No, we don't kill anyone here. Yeah. So this is a funny story, and more numbers. So in this game in Rio as well, we are running 850 policy and procedures. So when you guys arrive in the stadium to see any competition, think that for this happen, we had behind 850 policy and procedures. Everything that's going to happen, we technically, ideally, were mapping before. So we were doing all this map policies, what can happen, what cannot happen, and if this happen, what's the contingency? And
What's the
of
plan
course,
for this
yeah,
material?
and of course, after this, we do what we call we call exercise, but let's say simulation.
Mhm.
So if this specific event happened, do you know with who you should talk in this time? No. I cannot just get my radio and talk to anyone, because maybe
Mhm.
there's someone that cannot have this information or would be like a very precise information, let's say. So yeah, 850 policy and procedure to make the thing happen.
Yes, and combined with a huge communication matrix from the project perspective, right? Because you need to know, as you say, the flow. Who need to talk to whom
Exactly.
to solve it? And the main point is timing. You don't have time to just, okay, maybe tomorrow. You have seconds to remember and to talk to exactly right person to give you the information that you need, because otherwise you put the whole operation in jeopardy, so it's risky. So how you can do it? And I remember some of those this rehearsal from crisis.
Sim.
That is a real thing in all the big events and the stadiums and the venues. We're gonna do it, and it's sometimes funny stuff happen, but it's really important to make it happen before and organize the
Yeah.
way, right?
And talking about issues, as I said before, we had 2,500 issues identified and solved.
And
So
during the whole tournament or
during
in
the whole
specific
tournament.
areas?
Yeah, during the whole tournament. Because what's the deal?
Mhm.
If you can solve it in your venue, perfect. If you can't, you escalate it for your
You
cluster.
raise
So a
it.
venue that's similar than you, because someone might know how to solve it. If not, it went to the area that I was working
Uh-huh.
at. So there we were just have big issues to solve. And for example, we were having meetings every 3 hours from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. every 3 hours. Boom, boom, boom. Another characteristic important for this big event, when we talk about a traditional company, sometimes, okay, let's figure out this next week.
Yeah.
That is no next week. That is next 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a 2 weeks event and then a break for 2 weeks event again. Or if you talk about football,
Yeah.
1 month. There is no time to fix it later. You got to be on top of this.
And everybody just needs to be integrated with all the other areas, right? And really
Totally.
aware about what they need to deliver, which kind of information they have to be, and which kind of information they should share. Otherwise, will be a mess.
Exactly.
And how many from these real ones that you are in that different position? Because sometimes I was hospitality, in Qatar and New Zealand, and it was different because I had only one area from one stadium. I have my cluster that will have the hospitality in all the others, and we go ticketing anyway in other areas. But you had this big view from all the areas and all people around. So how was it? And how many areas do you have combined? And all these meetings you have all of them together, or you have sectors, timing, or only the people who had the issues who needed to solve it, or everybody need to have the same information? How it works?
Good question. Yeah, so let's split it in a planning and execution.
Okay.
So when we talk about planning, they were doing their policy and procedure by themselves, and then
Okay.
when it arrived to us, we were checking if that was connected. I'm gonna give you an example. For example, food and beverage. They have their containers or bars and what they have after the operation. A lot of a lot of bins, a lot of garbage, all of this. If in their policy and procedures, they're not one specific moment that they have to align with a cleaning and waste functional
Yes.
area.
And a
to remove-
specific area of cleaning the waste, and not the
Exactly.
other, right? Because they have
Exactly.
inside. Okay.
Another example. If you have looking signage, that was another job I have done. Looking signage, they pretty much put the look and all the signage.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's say they're gonna do this for hospitality.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes hospitality have their own
Yeah.
contractors, but let's say they're gonna do this. So this is another requirement. Hospitality, VIP, VVIP,
Mhm.
athletes. So you gotta make sure that this requirement are served. We
Mhm.
are on top of this as well. So another combination of areas. So yeah, that was what we were doing.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and for the execution, for the operation, So everything was done, right? So what
Kind
happened?
of, right?
Yeah. What happened when it's happening? Problems. That's what happened when it's happening.
Okay.
Problems. And if we refuse it, we are refusing the reality. Oh no, we're not gonna have problems. We gotta have problems. So let's embrace the problem
Yeah.
and treat it as
A baby and
mate.
give it attention,
Exactly,
right? That's the
exactly.
point.
Yeah. So then we were having these meetings from the beginning of the day until the end, 3 hours, and we had one person from each functional area. If I'm
Okay.
not mistaken, 12 years.
Yeah.
We didn't have all of the areas, 60, 40 something,
Uh-huh.
50, but pretty much everyone was a requirement. And this happened in other events as
Mhm.
well. We gotta have a one person to be there, and if it's something that we need to get done, this will be the responsible.
Okay. Yes. So, what's the part of the work that the audience enjoys for a few minutes and have no idea how long it takes to be placed? Because sometimes people just say, "Oh, it's beautiful," because they see only the result of it. But if from behind, how long it takes to set up an event like this? Because how long you stayed in Rio at the committee?
1 year and a little bit more. I went just for the end.
Mhm, but
Well, 1 year was the end.
yeah, but but the project started before,
Oh,
right?
definitely,
So
yeah.
how long is
If I'm not
normally?
mistaken, 2009.
Mhm.
Wow, the first
Yes,
people
yes.
to
After
arrive.
the beat, they
Yeah.
win and they started. If I'm not.
Yeah, but I remember when I arrived, we were already 2,000 people that
Mhm.
went up to 100,000 with contractors.
Yes. Okay.
So the curve is 2,000 and a half, 2,000 and a half, 3,000, boom for the operation,
Uh-huh.
and then the day
They gone
after dismantling.
and
That's
stop.
the curve. Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot.
But the question
Uh-huh.
about something that they just see for a minute and takes us a while, everything. Everything. When we say, wow, the majority of people are there for 2 years, they're like, wow, 2 years for just an event over 2 weeks, 1 month. Yeah, so everything. Because we are talking from, can you imagine, a company that was not existing before.
Mhm.
So starting from the scratch, right? The first person, and then you have the teams, and then all the contracts.
But I guess people don't know about it, how it requirement, because they have the big names of the big events, the sports events, but they don't know about how it's from inside, because they have the big name who delivered, but in every country they open a new
Yeah.
company, a local
Yeah.
committee to just do it. So we have people from the main company and then from the local ones, and after that you have contractors and then keep
Yeah.
going, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah. And then for this all happens, for example, let's say I didn't speak a lot about my experience in marketing for 2019, but
Uh-huh.
bringing this to the table, for example, mascot.
Oh
Mascot,
yes, everybody wants to take a picture and it's so cute and it's yes.
5 minutes. Mascot go there, wee, 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 and then come
Uh-huh.
back. But what is behind this?
Yeah.
So it's starting the first negotiation, the agency with the sponsor, how much they're gonna pay,
Okay.
what we're gonna give for them as advertisement, sponsorship rights, and then we arrive in the minute for
The appearance and
mascot, for example. How many minutes? 2 minutes, 5 minutes if you pay me more, and then
It's
all like this. So yeah, probably the spectator they saw in a match 5 minutes in total, but for us it started 2 years before with the whole negotiation with the sponsors and designing the deliveries, how
okay.
long it's going to be there. For example, if we live in the lead more minutes, we couldn't actually, because what the sponsor paid for.
Okay.
For 9 minutes.
So
Okay, so what? That's what we
organization
deliver.
again. How do you have to be
Absolutely.
all the
Yeah.
informations with all the
Yeah.
contracts and combine all it with
Yeah.
everything, the contract, the deliveries, and the timing, and again integration. Then
Mhm.
from the project manager perspective, it's
Yeah.
right. It's one of, I guess, it's one of the biggest kind of projects that you have to manage. Because you don't
Absolutely.
have a IT or a car or something like that. They have different kinds of restrictions, right? From the triple C restriction, the triple restriction, they have time, cost, or quality. In our case, we don't have triple. We only have, you only have the two restrictions because time is there, right?
I think we also have a cherry. We have operations.
Yeah.
Because in this big project, let's
it's
say
just
IT,
delivering, but yeah.
you deliver, and that's all. But we have the operation. There's a big cherry. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I would like to add one more thing about your question, even though it's not in my functional area, but it's the flags.
The flags.
The flags. It's just go there for maybe 2 minutes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we are talking about more than 200 flags. That is a team behind it just for the flags. To organize which flags, where it goes, how long it goes, and that is a protocol behind it. And the people just think, okay, it's just a flag. No, that is people just dedicated to this, and this complex. We have seen stuff, right? So it's not that trivial that we think. It's an important job. That's what I want to say.
Definitely. Yes. I guess the main point about the big events and to be behind the scenes, it's that there is so many things that we don't have a clue that exist and need to exist for happens, for the final result, for a couple of seconds at the TV, and I guess one thing as well, it's about emotion and about the passion. We are passionate about, look at that. I'm completely passionate about everything that I do all around. And I guess everybody who works with that have the same passion. And being, women, and for in our case, Brazilians, all around the world delivering that, it's more passionate. How it is for you, and which kind of experience do you have from this perspective about passion, about delivering, about emotion, and about being Brazilian outside? Because for me, being Brazilian in this world was amazing. But I guess it's something more when you
About
go
the sauce.
yes, about the sauce when we go, and the hospitality to address, everything. How the integration with the team and how we can kind of change things when we arrive. Do you have this kind of experience as well?
I think we have a specific way of dealing with things.
Okay.
Well, talking general, I think we are flexible in a way of, okay, maybe this is not, let's say, part of my job. I'm going to do this. We got to deliver. And this is very specific. I don't know for the other countries in South America, but for us, Brazil, we don't need to be begging someone. I know sometimes we just need that little bit extra, but a Brazilian will do it and we'll deliver. Doesn't matter what, we're going to deliver. So I think this is fabulous.
Yes. I guess it's a sense of not responsibility, but I guess going back to passion and emotion, we understand that we are part of something bigger that needs our delivery to make it happen. Even if it's not our part to do, we always look around and trying to have solutions and provide solutions from everything that's there. Even if it's not in our whole, we just see and hope, and maybe we can do it, and everybody get involved. And from that perspective, we met in Qatar in a tournament, different areas, different stadiums. Yes, but Qatar was amazing because it was the first time that we had all the stadiums really close, right? 40 minutes between one and another, different from 7 hours in a plane, or 3 countries, an immigration process now. And next time it's going to be 2 continents. So how was it? How was different Qatar for you, from a professional and personal perspective? Or
Wow. In terms of the location of the venues, if I understood correctly, well, for the other games before was kind of it, because I could go to other venues, even though it was not football, but I could go to other venues. So didn't for me was didn't was not that different.
Yes, because most of the areas they have it, right? They work only one venue and they stay there. So you're lucky. You're the one who travel all around. Okay. So that's the difference.
Yeah, even
Uh,
when I was with marketing,
uh-huh.
we had 6 stadiums,
Okay.
and I was with a general operation of a market as well. So we were traveling.
Okay.
So yeah, at the end I stayed more in one venue because they needed me more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was everywhere in Brazil, so kind of lucky.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. Because when I was in New Zealand, I was in the South City at the South Island in New Zealand, and I just met the people from my own place and the penguins that are so cute. It was amazing. So, but that was it. I didn't have the chance to meet people from the other venues as well and
Mm.
other countries because I was only in this one. So you as a cluster,
Yeah,
you had to travel. So it's more
exactly.
challenging because you don't have time to rest. You are always with your backpack in a different airport, in a
Yeah.
different hotel, and a different everything. You know?
Missing flights
Yeah.
happened. And
Okay.
the opening ceremony, the day after, I needed to fly from São Paulo to Rio, and I
Different
couldn't
one.
make it.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it was a great
Yeah, it
experience.
was a
Then.
great experience. And for each stadium, as a cluster, for each stadium we had 6 people.
Mhm.
So 6 people with 6 different backgrounds, let's say personally, right? Because even though they have the same skills to run the operations, they're a different person. So you
Mhm.
have to deal in a different way. So different people, different cities, different match. Because one match is more important, let's say, than the other one because there's
Yes,
more people, it's
more
more challenge, maybe.
relevant. Uh-huh.
Yeah, more relevant. Yeah, not
And
for
the supporters are different, so we need to deal with them in a different
Totally,
way.
exactly,
It's
yeah,
crazy, completely
exactly.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
being traveling and I
Uh-huh.
think these different things is a good thing. It's a good thing.
Okay. So I know that you are a teacher, right? So so before that, so how do you feel and how it's of course completely different, but how do your teaching skills help you in this field or do you have any connection with that and how is it for you?
Right. Well, as I said,
And
I'm
before what do you teach? Yeah, just
Yeah.
say a little bit about it.
Well, as I said, I'm fascinated for communication. And I think that's the only way that we connect with people,
Mhm.
if we can communicate well. So I think being a professor gave me these skills or the other way around. I just became a professor because I have these skills. And I think like when we mix this, look at how beautiful it is. When you mix
Yeah.
this, if you are well organized, you know everything that's going on, you're on top of things. And if you can communicate well, you can say about your needs and listen to people and have this flow. So maybe that helps, I think. Yeah.
So one thing that you have all the time with you and that helped you to do your job in a better way, to remember all these things and to be more organized in your delivering after all this planning. Because the main point is, I don't know, doing signage or orders, you need to have a lot of information and you do all the planning before and after that you are operationing.
Yeah.
You are there, So there is something that helped you and you carry with you all the time and how is the importance of this to your organization and everything.
Mobile phone.
Yes.
Mobile phone.
So it's not Instagram or something.
Nothing else.
Okay.
There's not notebooks, no laptop.
Okay.
So everything I do through my phone. And well, for example, for mock, that is the main operations. We are more like managing the other operations and helping all of this.
Mhm.
But for marketing and look inside it, is operational. So you gotta be there in the field doing things.
Yes.
And for this, you cannot gonna carry on a laptop. So everything was in my phone, all the notes, making voice message to myself, and videos, and then that's it. So it's a good tool. Let's say.
Nice, nice. And from a project manager perspective, because you're a PMP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you understand working in this big event and what's the challenge? Because most of people, they they don't understand from behind the scenes how intense and how different it is, right? And how challenge it is to combine everything. So some people understand that it's easy to just do an event and they don't recognize it, and from behind the scenes everything that management and planners and planning and everything that needs to be done. So for you, because you are a professional, with all the skills from that, how is your point of view about it and how that helped you? And if you didn't have it, this,
Yeah.
yes, this perspective, what do you think that could be different, without having this management, this project management view?
Yeah, interesting. Good question, because some people, they are very active, let's say. So they are hands-on, they can do this. But if they don't have this methodology of
Yeah.
organization, maybe it will be harder for them. So I believe people can have naturally some skills, but all this training, all this learning methodologies will always support you way more. And then it's just a good combination. If you have already the mood, if that's your personal skills, let's say, but you have methodologies. So yeah, I think that helps a lot.
That's great. And I don't know, if you had to give advice for someone who wants to work with this, to start to work with this, what it should be? Just run, and don't do it. Just run for that. That's the advice. But what is the advice? What they suppose they should do, and from where to start, and from that, how you started? Because from a different one, and sometimes we just, okay, I'm here, and how? How was it?
I was living in France, in Alps, for studying. And then I was about to go back to Brazil. And I asked a friend, I'm like, yeah, in position of this. And he's like, well, Opa, this
Yes.
game in Rio, why don't you apply? And I did.
Oh, you are in Paris and then you applied to
I was in
Brazil.
the Alps.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In
the
the
Alps,
French
okay.
Alps.
Okay.
And then I applied and I went back to Brazil. And they messaged me and just happened like this.
Okay.
And then after that, other invitations, and while I was always also applying for Paris, I applied and happened as well. So yeah, and it's a small community.
Yes.
And
Yes.
people know who are who, and then who's who, and so yeah. But I would say something important: this sense of urgence you gotta have.
Proactivity. That's not, oh,
Proactivity.
yes. No, you see,
Yeah,
detect and do something with that. You solve
exactly.
it,
Yeah, solve it. And of course, methodologies always help, always help. And you can have a self-learning. You don't need to do an MBA but if you want, I can.
Yeah.
I'm also
So,
professor.
yeah.
But you don't need to have classes. There's AI there. You just ask some questions and learn by yourself. So just get the main methodologies. And I would say languages. Yeah, not just English. English, basic.
Yes, you cannot just work
Yeah,
with the English.
basic.
It's not.
But all the language, because of this thing that we
Yeah.
spoke before, flexibility. And also I would say you gotta have one hand heavy and the other soft.
Yes.
Sometimes you gotta be heavy, sometimes you gotta be soft. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your team.
Yes.
And at the
It's the
end,
relationship skills, manage people,
exactly.
Yeah.
A project is not made by itself. It's made of people.
Yes.
And people, they do what it is in their job description. But they gotta do more if they trust you,
Yeah.
if they are with you, if they believe you guys
Yes.
are going through this together.
I guess if they understand, they are respected, they are seen, they know they're important part of their delivery
Exactly.
inside of the
Yeah.
whole team.
Yeah.
And I guess that's different when we have a specific kind of leadership, right?
Yeah. I remember in Qatar, we had some changes before the first match. And the first match, if I'm not mistaken, would be 3 p.m. And we received some items. It was 4:30 a.m.
Oh, you're waiting. Okay.
Yeah, I was this day was my record working. Talking about numbers.
Yeah.
This day was my record. I was working 22 hours nonstop. gross, no shower.
Qatar. Oh,
Qatar,
my God. Yes, it
girl.
was so hot. It was so
But
hot.
yeah, and 22 hours non-stop, and then we received our items for the day after. And I remember I was manager of look and signage in this status, so I had one manager of a wayfinding, another one of dressing, FA. I was taking care more myself of this. Yeah, so this first guy, amazing. He was not in charge of leading this part of our program
Uh-huh.
because he was managing other part. But he was there at 5:30, and he looked at me and he was like, Angelica, it's not part of my scope, but I will
But
be here with you. He was there with you, with me, doing everything until I don't know what time.
yes.
Was not even his part. So that's what I'm talking about. When people are engaged, people are
Yes.
engaged. So it's about project is about people.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's really important. I really know that.
Yeah.
I just had some experience that we had issues, delivering stands and trade fairs and everything. But events, like the name, everything can happen. But the main point is you need to solve it, no matter what, no matter who. You need to solve it because you have a time restriction. You need to deliver that time to the opening time, to
Yeah.
the opening ceremony, to trade fair and everything, and you need to deliver it. But the main point is the sense of responsibility together, the sense of team. I spent I don't know how many nights doing coffee for the builders.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, you have a small chocolate. Let's do it together. And
Yeah.
I guess I always deliver the project because of this sense of respect for everybody that was there. I don't say, okay, see you tomorrow. You're gonna spend the whole night work. No, let's do it.
Exactly.
Let's try it. Let's change it. Let's
Absolutely.
deliver it and solve it. So I guess people is the most important part from every project, and women as well. So,
Most.
so yes. But I guess there is a different about this perspective about the leadership from women and men in some parts,
Yeah.
right? And we can see it and feel it, and somehow
I agree.
it's different. So we are here to see more women and this leadership.
Yeah, and
Sit.
especially because, for example, when we talk about football, majority are men, but when we talk about other events, it's like for the Olympics, we have a 50-50 already. If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, it's 49 women
Oh, yeah.
competitors for 51 guys.
This last one, right? That was really nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
The numbers are.
So how come
work-
in such this big event we have a majority workers as a man? No.
Yes.
No, because we talk about women as well, athletes as a woman, people that go to watch as a woman. So
The
let's
society.
exactly
It's,
have
yeah.
time is over.
Yeah.
Time is over. Yeah.
Okay, so we are starting to go into the end now. So, do you love what you do? And about how many places did you live at, and how was it? This being this digital nomad, you started to be a digital nomad, a nomad, not after or before you working with events.
Was after.
Okay.
So
And
since
what's the challenge, to just every time be in a different country, different culture, and
I would say you gotta make the routine literally
yeah,
yourself
yeah.
in your body. For example, if you have if you go to the gym every day, for me, gym is non-negotiable. It's part of health. We are building muscles. I'm getting there in this age, so let's make it easier,
Yeah.
right? So if you think about sports or a routine, you gotta have, for example, a personal trainer that is remote. You have a train. Doesn't matter where you are, you're gonna be this. I remember when I was living in Colombia, I had this agreement with my personal trainer. We gonna do the sessions in the same time. It doesn't matter where in the world I am.
Mm-hmm.
So in in Colombia,
yeah, it was challenging.
was complicated because it was 4 a.m.
Out.
It was 4 a.m. So I
Okay.
was waking up 4 a.m. as a zombie and going to work out because that was my commitment with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. So I think if you are around, doesn't really lead yourself and to go to a gym that is somewhere, eat the food that no. It's keep it in here. Your
Okay.
exercise, your clothes, you are your house. That's all.
Yes, and you need to have everything
Yeah,
on you.
yeah.
So that's why. And one last question for you now. So, what means vibe for you?
Oh,
What means vibe for you?
wow, vibes for me. So let's say, I think this integration of woman, as I said, time is over. So it's time now that we're gonna take what is ours.
Sounds
And
good.
the name itself just speak for itself.
Yes.
Vibes,
So,
let's vibes. Yeah.
yeah. So thank you so much to be
Thank
here. It's the
you.
first time. So it was a pleasure. It was our first episode of Vibe, women in big events. And that's the perspective from behind the scenes from women to all of you. So see you next time.
Thank you.